This is Richard back at you. We got Jason in the house all the way from Kansas City. Guys, you remember the Derby 400 trannies? He brought me 3 of them. We got them ready for him, and he's fixing to take them back home, and hopefully he can keep them to himself without everybody trying to take them from him. But he brought me one down here that somebody else built for him. I guess it didn't last very long. Went out pretty quick, Jason, did you say?
It might have 10 minutes on it.
Really? So we're going to get this thing apart and kind of look and see what did happen to it and go from there. So now his 400s that I built for him have got tons of hours of time put into the lubrication circuit, because we really want to flood the back of this unit with fluid, because he's going to be running low gear at high RPM, 500 plus horsepower, chasing each other around the track and just running over everybody. Kind of crazy, Jason.
Hopefully. Hopefully. That's the plan.
I use my impact as a hammer. That's a bad habit, but you know how that is. Thank you, Milwaukee. See, now he does have the modulator completely plugged off like a trans brake type unit, or something. Fully manual. Now we don't want to do that in these. We want to leave a modulator on here. That way he's not running around the track or just sitting there in the pits idling at 200 pounds pressure. We want it to drop down to say 60 pounds idling. That way it's not wearing out the pump while he's just sitting there. Got a modular valve stuck. So now this thing could be full of metal. Like he said, it didn't last 10 minutes. The fluid don't look really nice. Looks pretty dark. These old white gloves or yellow gloves are slippery compared to these green ones and orange ones, let me tell you, yeah.
Because the white ones, I like to R&R in, but if you get them back here in the fluid or anything,
yeah, you got to have that grip. Now you can see here we got a lot of clutch material. I don't see any planetary gears or anything like that. It looks more like clutch material. So now if this just has a stock filter on it, felt type non-screen, it does have a screen, so it shouldn't have starved for fluid through the filter. Filter's still not plugged up right there, so that looks really good. He's got dual O-rings on the suction tube, which is good. That way it can't suck any air. Now he did do a, normally we stack these. They do make a factory with detent that makes this stronger. You can see here he put a little plate that he made here to make it stronger. That's kind of made that, but that's a little different. So we want to mainly look through here, make sure he's got the right gaskets on it, stuff like that. And we're mainly looking here at these squares in this little tail right here. And we want to come over here, we want to look here, make sure this little tail isn't going in the right spot too. So that looks really good there on that gasket. Now he did put a fully manual option in this thing. Get away with the governor, plug the tubes and stuff like that. Let's see here. Now this is your passing gear switch. Make sure it wasn't broken off the pedal, but it's still there. Still. Look at this gasket, make sure it's the right gasket, and it's got the right gasket on it too. So your kit will come with 2 gaskets. Come with 3 gaskets, but only 2 of them you're going to be using. Now, did this thing just quit moving forward, or just all backwards, or what?
First gear. It wouldn't go anywhere in first gear.
In first gear.
Drive work.
Okay. Make sure our little U-shaped clip's in there. Okay. Now, I did leave all the check balls out but 2. You can see here, he put this one here and he put one in the trough right here. Then he left this one out, this one out, this one out, and this one out, which is okay. We usually put this one back in, but these will be fine. So. A little bolt there almost felt loose.
It really just sounded like it felt tight around in the bore, huh?
Mm-hmm. Boy, it feels good to have 20-degree weather today. That minus stuff is pretty tough for us Amarillo guys.
Yeah, I imagine. Tough on everybody.
Yes, sir. So it took us 3 hours just to get the shop warmed up to even do anything at all. Now what he did here is, it's got a stock pressure regulator spring. You can see here where he shimmed it up a ton right here. So we got all kinds of pump pressure. Plus we have a blocked vacuum modulator, so we got tons of pressure. So if you want to come here, I'll give you a little teaching, a little class here on what you got going on here. If you can, let me get this out of here. It's not as wore out as I thought it would be, but it's not going to come out. What we've got real high pressure, and what it did is it shoved this gear sideways, and there's a lip here so bad now it won't ever come out. And that's from just the vacuum modulator being plugged, not being able to idle at 60 pounds, you know, when you're sitting there just in a pit or anything like that, to where you only want to have full pressure when you're on the floor going around track chasing somebody. You don't want it to have full pressure sitting there idling, you know, because this is what happens right here. So this pump is probably going to be the failure issue. It looks like to me that you had it shimmed good. The converter was back in the gear really far. Now you can tell this tranny has been behind 2 converters. If you look here, we have wear here, and then we have wear out here. Sure. So you can tell it's had 2 different torque converters in it. So in other words, the second go around when you got this tranny back, it didn't have new pump, it didn't have new gears or anything like that. It still had wore out stuff in it. I can't say it was wore out. Now your pump bushing does look new. You do have a little bit of wear here on the bottom. Is your motor pretty new?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this could be from existing, you know, we don't really know what he did when he built this tranny back, but so far I see low pump pressure. We're probably going to pull this clutch here out, and we're probably going to have some burn up stuff here because we just lost pump pressure.
It looks warm.
Yeah. Get my screwdriver. This is a real common problem when we do trans brakes and stuff like that. That high pressure. Now you can see the forward clutch ain't burned up totally, but it's just about totally gone. And you see the really hot spots and stuff like that. I'm gonna pop this out real quick, Trent, excuse me. Just wanna look at all these seals. See if we got any cut seals or anything like that. Come this way. I just want to get over and see if we got any cut seals or anything like that in here. See if they're soft or hard. Pretty firm. That's a really old seal. So is this one here. So he did leave the seal off here. When they do that, it lets it use the whole piston to apply the clutch instead of this outer part here. It uses the physically whole piston. Now it did have high pressure rings on the stator. Show you that there. Which your new tranny's got all high pressure rings and stuff like that too. So. Now this is going to be your third reverse clutch here. This is going to be, of course, it's totally gone. They're welded together. Now, that's another reason probably why it wasn't wanting to go forward too, because it's trying to take off in third gear. See, once he's welded forward like this, it's automatically locked in third gear. See, so. With these seals here, they'll be blowed, I'm sure. Let me go ahead and take these out real quick, Trent.
Okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to stay slow with the camera. I'm learning my photography as we go daily.
Come on. See what, this is where we would have done it. We would have took this seal out here too. That way it gives the whole piston to apply third gear in reverse. See here, they left that in there. That's kind of, they should have left this one out too. But these seals are really hard. They're not like brand new. I mean, they're so hard that this one here, they get so hard they shrink up against the piston and then they won't seal around here on the edge. See, and that's why these seals have all done. I could probably, you'd think I could break that. But they're just really hard. So. Found my other screwdriver, Trent.
Put everything up nice and clean before you left.
Now this is my universal tool. Somebody calls it a chisel, they call it a screwdriver, they call it all kinds of stuff. But I bought it as a snap ring remover tool. Grind my little notch in it. Works really nice.
Somebody was asking how to actually do that the other day.
Yeah, I got accused of torturing a screwdriver. Now this is our second gear clutch here. All that stuff's been removed out of your tranny. It's no longer in there. The steels are in there, but no clutches or anything like that. There's no sprag assembly here to break anymore. We just got rid of all that stuff. That way, it stops all the failures. The reverse band, there's physically no lining left on it at all. It's just totally gone. And this used to be a original style where it had the groove lining on it, and you see the lining's just totally gone on it. Now this is the gear train that I was worried about. I figured would have been just totally melted up, but it's not. You can see the pins have been hot. See that gear there starting to fail.
Oh, the roller even, the pin moved.
See here? See how that pin's turned purple?
Yep, I see that.
See that one there, guys? How that pin's purple?
Yes, sir.
Now we do come in here and TIG these pins to keep them from coming out the bottom, because they will come out the bottom and wipe out this washer right here. So we do tap them back up and then TIG them, that way they can't move. Look at our sun gear here. And say I got to clean all this stuff up and look at it, because lately we've been missing part failures or pieces that are bad by just doing the videos and stuff, where we got to get them over here and clean them up really good to find stuff, because a lot of these pieces that's laying around here, you see, are pieces that I didn't identify in the video. See, so once you sit back and clean them up, then you find a lot of other stuff that I missed. So. Okay, right here you want to look see if these pins have turned purple or anything like that. So everything looks decent there. Let's say we get this all cleaned up. There's no oil circuits have been modified. All these holes here and stuff are massive now. That I took and bored all this stuff out. All these feed holes here, they all line up with each other. In other words, you put this piece in there and we put it back together. We make sure that hole right there lines up with this hole. Then we enlarge these holes. You know, everything's been enlarged to get massive amounts of lubrication to the back of this tranny and stuff like that. So I think a lot of seal wear, wore out pump, stuff like that that caused a lot of this failure. So we'll get this back together for him. We appreciate you coming down and bringing us this one here to do for you too. You'll enjoy the other three that I spent tons of hours doing for you and stuff like that. So please don't get rid of them. Put them in your own car and use them. They're not going. So if y'all need anything, give us a Hot Precision Transmissions. Don't forget to subscribe. Have your kids sit down, watch our videos. They'll enjoy them too. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all have a great day.